Stay there, guys. It's Metro, and today we are taking a look at the Halls of Valor. All right. So yeah, we finally got an opportunity to check out this dungeon. It's in a very early state on the alpha currently, and yeah, I'm gonna try to give you guys a good look at it. All right, but unfortunately, that you can't really discern too much from it. I just went right to the first boss here to try to keep things as short as possible and sped things up a bit. The boss is clearly not finished, but as you see that like lightning thing that kind of comes across, I try to get a better look at it here. Yeah, there's like he's like summons a storm drake or something, and it just goes up, blah, blah, and it's just like it breathes, spits hot fire like Lil Wayne or something, and that's that there. But as you see, it does pretty much no damage. Blood DK in an interesting state right now. I assume they're going to be rebalanced a bit here, but anyway, that's a topic for another day. So yeah, the boss in itself seems really cool. I do like the dungeon, like the whole theme of it. Really, that's why I'm trying to bring that up here. Those weapons he throws down there, they do a lot. They pick a player. Now it's odd because I've seen other times it happens where it just keeps picking like range and stuff, and it does a lot of damage. But for this, he just seems to keep throwing it at the same, like right at the melee, as you see there. Knocks him back, it looks like, but inconsequential, really, unfortunately, at this point, right? It is a normal dungeon on the Legion Alpha, so I'm not really too concerned about that as it stands currently. But yeah, that's pretty much all he does. Now, in terms of you know, like you could see the view here, it's absolutely breathtaking. I'm really, really excited about that alone. You know, that's something that I think having high quality looking boss encounters in dungeons is really good. So yeah, that's the first guy, man. Him tall. I don't know. I'm not Swedish. Then we see you know, Odin, just not related to the Odin, right? Not the Final Fantasy summon, not that guy. None of those things. Yeah, he's leading us through the dungeon here a little bit. And you know, there's a decent amount of trash in this dungeon as well. You know, looking at this recording, I sped it up as well, and it's still quite long. So it took us a while. Obviously, I've never done it before. But yeah, I think you're going to find that these dungeons are a bit longer. Up here, these two guys are already fighting each other. A lot of just, you know, incohesion in the Reichruel ranks, especially in Heaven. The Heaven equivalent, of course. But as you see, just doing, just stupid, fruity, crazy swag AoE. And yeah, that's going to be that for a while. Now, here we go. We entered the Halls of Valor proper, and it is fucking spectacular, man. I couldn't say enough about how gorgeous this all looks. You know, nothing's really too challenging in here, so might as well talk about the visuals. Basically, we're in this giant mead hall. I think this is also where the warrior artifact stuff takes place. So yeah, it may look familiar, but as you see there, just DK as being DK, like Manny being Manny, you know, just healing myself to full without even trying. It's pretty overpowered, but it's just stay focused on the dungeon, all right? So yeah, there's a lot of trash in here. From here on out, you have to go but one of two ways, right? You have to pick one first, obviously, unless you're trying to do split runs. Then that could be an option. You do both at the same time, but that'll probably be difficult for you. So I will focus on going one way first. And then there's two bosses. Now, these two areas are actually exceptionally cool. So once all the trash is dealt with, just kind of make your way there. You do pretty much have to pull all of this, although I'm not 100% sure what is skippable. Now, you see there, I was testing out the damage that lightning does, just for the purpose of the video, and yeah, it did a lot, right? So that's good. I'm glad that you guys got to see that. I was also testing out being AFK. You know, because sometimes it's a little different in every dungeon when you're AFK and you have a battle res. It's not always the right play to take it first. So as you see there, I do take the battle res, and I'm spamming. You can smell how hard I'm hitting the keyboard there, but yeah, I managed to survive. So yeah. Okay, we are gonna go left here, as you see. Just we'll stop and get some of this food on the way back. It does look pretty appetizing, but even more appetizing is the potential of gripping all these mobs together and AoE them down. Good old Blood Death Knight. Now we enter this area here. Okay, this is the Seat of Ascension. All right, this is where the second, or you know, one of the two second bosses is located. It's a pretty interesting encounter, actually. Unfortunately, since you know this is alpha normal mode, we didn't really get to learn much. Like, I did this without any trepidation. We wiped at the end, but yeah, it's just there's just not really much going on here. But let's try to talk about what there is supposed to be going on. All right, so there's these 2 mobs on the side, one on either side of this middle area here. We pull all 3 of these together. These are inconsequential, just random trash from what I could tell. Now these 2 mobs here, they play a role in the encounter. So you actually learn a little bit about the encounter before you pull them. So, you know, since I'm very good at the game, I pull both of them together. And yeah, you see that lightning thing there? I guess, yeah, and then that too. So yeah, as you see a preview of the encounter here, all right, which is obviously very cool. I like that a lot. I think most people do. But once you've kind of seen it a bunch of times, you kind of forget that that's what it is. So yeah, they both are doing a mechanic at the same time. And on the boss fight, it actually increases in power every time they do it. But the boss, the closer the boss is to one of these, is the one that she will do. So I guess what you're supposed to do, quote unquote, is like tank her by one and then move her to the other one. So as you see here, that's exactly what I'm going to do because I'm just very good. Yeah, it's just like a stupid, fruity, crazy, like unbelievable damage here we're doing. She does knock you back, right? Which is, yeah, sometimes you get knocked back. As you see, this is going to do a lot of damage, but it doesn't even matter. Just use a regular ability to heal myself to full. And that's all you need is a blood DK right now. But yeah, ideally, I guess what you're supposed to be doing here is not have her on both. So she has both of those beams, right? So she is doing both of the mechanics. It didn't seem to really line up very bad. Like it was never actually an issue. I don't know, what the visual indicator would look like if there was only one beam. I assume the other beam would just not be connected. But even knocking it, like none of this really does anything. I do die there, obviously, because I'm standing in them, not because. Well, I mean, it could be because we didn't do the fight properly, I suppose. But I don't feel like that's the case. I'm pretty sure I just ate like 8 or 9 of them. And that's the boss, so yeah. But obviously, guys, it's normal, all right? Like, trust me, there's going to be challenge to these in challenge mode, not in normal. So even if this is how it's meant to be, then that's that. But now you just go back to the other side and go to arguably the coolest part of the dungeon. Okay, now we're going the other way. After we beat the Rija boss, or whatever the hell her name was, now we're going to go take on Sif, all right? This boss is actually pretty interesting. This whole area, you're going to see, is really gorgeous. Now, we still have more trash to pull, but it's the same. I'm pretty sure it's the exact same trash that mirrors it on the other end of the hallway, so yeah, not really any difference here. I like to just, what the hell is, I don't even know. All this like lightning stuff moving around, I don't even know what that is. Is that the demon hunter in the group? I couldn't say. Man, it's crazy though when you see all these new animations together in a dungeon, right? Like it's pretty crazy. But yeah, now here you go. So check this out, So we go through this portal here, which, I don't know if this is, I guess this is how it's going to be in the actual dungeon. But yeah, there you go. So Odin tells us a little bit about what's happening down here. And we see, in my opinion, this is probably one of the coolest areas ever in any dungeon. Like, not just this dungeon. This dungeon's gorgeous, but this is amazing. You're basically in, like, the woods. And, yeah, now you're on, like, a little hunting excursion. And in the woods, we're going to find, we're going to find Sif. Or is it Fenrir? Veneer? Veneer, yeah, it's that one. So, anyway, it's just a wolf. As you see, it looks awesome though. Oh, so does it look awesome? And of course, just like the other bosses, I really feel like I didn't actually learn anything. The trees are in the way a little bit here, so I learned that. I learned that Sif has like a bunch of poles sticking out of his back or his shoulder blade, I think. Or it's not Sif, is it? Or is it? I can't remember. I can never remember. No, but anyway, yeah, that's that. So there's some bear. But yeah, you engage the boss, you fight him. And then he leaps back to his den after being wounded. Things are just, I don't know if they're over or undertuned or what, but yeah, things are just not actually happening in this dungeon. So I'm struggling to find out, what needs to be said and what needs to be done. All I do know is that, yeah, the dungeon looks amazing. So if we were going to focus on that, that would be the focus for me. And you also see the healing abilities of a Blood Death Knight. I wish Skada did work, because I'm pretty sure I did more healing than this monk in this entire dungeon, especially to myself. But yeah, there you go. So you see he's an easy boss, boss half dead. You have to get kited. As you see, he fixates. He looks at him, he stares him down, and then he chases him around. So Yeah, that's that. And then he leaps. I think he does like a bleed, and that howl I think does like it's an interrupt. So it's like if you're casting while he howls, howl, you get all interrupted. You're like, I can't think, I can't focus. You know. Yeah. So just a little bit of RP for you guys. But yeah, there you go. As you see there, just heal myself to full with. I'm pretty sure I don't even know what that was, but yeah, it's ridiculous. and then you get a look at the loot. It's actually 800. I'm pretty sure I got. Yeah, I think I got like a cloak there. And then now, in the text on the side there, you see the new transmog thing there, which is pretty cool. I mean, these are good things to see. Now there is a yak looking like a yak somehow in this forest. And when you're engaged with the yak, you cannot leave the forest, which is standard. It's standard at this point, right? But you're gonna have to kill the yak. Other players, they did not choose to kill the yak, so it's just me and one other. But as you see, parry, 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 and then I would heal if I needed to, but I didn't. So yeah, that's that. Now we're gonna keep moving on. The final part of the dungeon, which is awesome. Oh, and now we go up this ramp. Look at this ramp. So as you kind of get a look at here, like the ramp just propels you forward. So I turn around backwards, and yeah, I actually go backwards as well. It just looks amazing. Like it looks just like that part in Thor. The whole city and all this in general is just really, really awesome. But there's some mobs here. I guess these are similar to like that Dwarven Council in front of Atramides from BWD, Blackwing Descent. You kill one, and then as you see here, it like grants its power to another one. That one powers up. We go kill that. They're just 4 dudes. You're just gonna kill them. You're gonna use large damaging abilities on them if you have to. But I guess they're like champions of of the Odin, whatever, the Odin King, whatever his name is. And then there's this guy's a shadowy apparition that when he hits the guy, it explodes. I guess does some damage, but not really that big of a deal. It is interesting, trash, right? It's a little bit different, but it does really slow the dungeon down, which is not something I like. This is stuff that I hate in CM, like when there's this type of like RP type slowing down the dungeon. But hey, you can't get away from it. It's part of the game, so it's equalized. Now there's the 2 spawn, and as you see, they're both doing the mechanics that all the other ones did, but it's just so beyond trivial. Like I move them there because I figured maybe we should kill that thing, but as you see, I don't even know like what it did, but. Yeah, that's that. So next up is this is pretty interesting. Check this out here. So there's a golden shield on the ground, okay, and we're gonna discuss here with Odin about how like who best is fit to use this. So that's God King Kobold. He's gonna come in here and he's gonna be all pissed that we took the shield. Now, if you notice a little bit, he's Gul'dan's apparently got his influences in him. And that's not a good thing for the God King, but it's even a worse thing for us, as you see here. So he just starts going full demon mode and just absolutely wipes his butt. And that animation there, you'll notice somebody picked up and used, although I don't know if they knew like what they were even doing with it. So when we did that, the healer just ran up and picked it up. So let's talk about the actual fight. The shield presents a barrier when used. All right, it's an extra action button. You press it and it puts like this curvicle shape around. Anybody inside that curvicle shape will not actually take damage. So as you see here, I'm looking this up as we go. Now the full dungeon, like dungeon journal is available. So I'm sorry this guy's wasn't able to be as informative, and maybe some of you liked it, but either way, I'll show you guys what is actually meant to happen. So God King Kobold comes in again, and yeah, when he does his like big channeled, I think it's called Remorseless Winter. No, that's not it. That's the Lich King. Anyway, here it is here. We just make a wall, and look, he can't even hit us. In fact, I think he's taking damage from his own mechanic. Just utter noob, But then he takes it off as he's like, oh no, give me the back, and somehow he drops it. So we take it a second time, and then we just deal large damage to them, to the boss, and that's gonna be that. But yeah, this is a pretty cool encounter because of that mechanic. But literally everything else, once again, I feel like it's so trivial. I didn't even know a single thing about any of these bosses other than this one mechanic. This was the only time that I ever felt like we were gonna wipe, and we did actually wipe. So yeah, that's that. And as you see, like so yeah, maybe you haven't noticed the epic item that you're getting from a lot of these bosses. This is artifact power, and it's pretty cool because you could upgrade your artifact just from doing these 5-mans. I don't really, I don't want to talk about that too heavily, but yeah. Anyway, so now we're going to fight Odin, all right, which was played by Anthony Hopkins in the Thor films. He's a great actor. I think he's knighted as well, but very good actor. In this, he doesn't act very well, unfortunately. As you see here, he uses these spikes on the ground, which don't do damage. And he also uses this mechanic really large, which makes it hard to see him because he's so really large. But it doesn't matter. As you're going to see here, the way you counter this is by opening the Dungeon Journal mid-encounter and doing that there. I'm not even sure. Turn into Golden Valkyries. I'm pretty sure what's supposed to happen is everybody gets like a rune on their head, I guess, besides the tank. And you go to a different, you go pick up a rune as well. And then you turn into a Golden Valkyr, which is, it's so cool. Like I said, I'm making a joke out of this because there's nothing serious to talk about here, but it's a really fucking cool idea for a boss. And that's it. At 80%, he just gives up. He says, you know what? You guys are worthy. I'm not going to fight you guys. You guys got me down to 20% in like a minute, less than a minute. So that DK is really good. Like, I was barely able to deal damage to him. So here's an item level 800 item. And that's that. That's how it's going to go, guys. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited about this dungeon. Really, I love dungeons. I don't know if you guys know that about me, but I love dungeons. And I'm very excited for this. So if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, we'll see you guys in the next dungeon. All right, man?